America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by Pharma.
Ugh, you said you were over him, but his hoodie is still in your rotation. It's time. Grab your phone, snap a few pics, and sell it on Depop. Listed in minutes, with no selling fees. And just like that, a guy 500 miles away just paid full price for your closure. And right on cue.
Hey, still got my hoodie?
Nope. But I've got tonight's dinner paid for. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste. List now with no selling fees. Payment processing fees and boosting fees still apply. See website for details.
Dripping in gold? That's cool. Dripping in Velveeta's supremely creamy golden cheesiness? That's respect. Elevate your drip with Velveeta's range of outrageously delicious dips and dishes. Shells, cheese, melty blocks, and heat and eat queso that go all in on indulgence. Flex on your fam with a creamy, cheesy masterpiece and go all in on what you love with Velveeta. Respect the drip and satisfy your cravings. Bring home the drip with Velveeta.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Very big day today. We got the hockey getting going in about 10 minutes from now, as you got Canada in the semifinal. The men are later this afternoon. We want the U.S. and Canada. Like, we're rooting for Canada in this first game, right?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
You want U.S.-Canada in the final.
I'm not. And keep in mind, the Panthers have plenty of Finns on that team as well. Look, I think top to bottom, Canada's a bit more talented than the U.S. It's going to be a great moment. To me, no bad outcomes here, but ultimately, I want to win the gold. Canada's usually in the way of that. So if they bow out to the Finns, it's not like that's going to be an easy game either, Roy. Like, if it's USA-Finland, I know we want to respect the opponent. All respect due to Slovakia, but the U.S. is a big fave to advance here. Finland would be a difficult opponent as well.
Yeah, and looking forward to Sunday. We got a live stream going on with the hockey show. So join us on Sunday. That's going to be at 8:10. The hockey show with me, David Dwork, Rosie, and Ethan.
So there won't be a pivot if, U.S.-Canada becomes the bronze game. You guys won't pivot to that?
No, we got nothing else to do. We might as well watch the game, and we want you guys to join us and watch the game with us.
No pivot. You hear that first.
All
no
right,
pivot.
So hopefully the live stream at 8 a.m. Eastern on Sunday morning is not Finland and Slovakia.
And the historical value of it being U.S.-Finland is, of course, it wasn't in 1980,
That's
the
right.
gold medal game when they beat the Soviets. They beat the Soviets and then had to settle the hash with the Finns in order to win that gold. So that would be, what is that, 46 years later would be a nice little completion of the circle.
That's a good job out of you. So we've been talking a little bit of poker this week, all right? And we'll get to Nick Wright and how you guys were very big winners this week because of Nick Wright. But before that, did you guys see this? So the World Poker Tour, is going on.
WPT.
Yeah, all right. And so there was an event yesterday, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of a player tearing his ACL playing poker. Watch this.
No.
So Justin Smith must catch a king.
There's the board. Can he escape?
Oh, it's a 10. No! Back-to-back double-ups by Justin Smith, drawn out both times, Vince, to stay alive.
And look how excited
Starts
he
hopping.
is. His fans, his friends.
Fix that tomorrow. Let's go.
Wait a minute, Vince. Something's wrong out there.
We'll operate it on it tomorrow with the million.
Yeah, there's something very wrong. He's doubled over. He's really in pain.
Yeah, it snapped.
What the? This is no bluff, let me tell you.
Poker injury. I told you this is an injury sport. They say that poker's not a sport, but this is like...
Well, this is pretty serious. People are rushing to Justin's side.
I'm really hoping it'll be okay. I'm able to play. I'll play it out.
So this clip may be a little bit old, but it was recirculating all over social media.
So good.
Yesterday.
What gave it away that it's a little old? The dead guy?
Yeah, one of the announcers is dead, and Mike Mattisau's about 65 now.
So, that has to be the most embarrassing sports. Can I call it a sports injury?
Second most embarrassing behind Howard Bryant pulling both his hamstrings in his bed.
Third behind thinking that clip was new.
God damn.
Proud of yourself, huh?
Also embarrassing is watching other people play poker on TV. This is a relic from the 90s. I don't know what went on in that decade. Well, I was there for it, and I was flummoxed the entire stretch. You had people, because of the popularity of the movie Swingers, who would go out on purpose dressed in zoot suits, and they would take swing dancing lessons. And there were also bars devoted to cigar smoking. Men and women just sitting out there unironically smoking cigars, and then the cherry on top, celebrities playing poker. Ooh, we're going to play poker with other celebrities, and then we're going to point cameras at it, and other people are going to watch. What the hell?
Now, because of what you're speaking to, of how boring it can be, the announcers the other night with Nick Wright were all over the place. So we did put together, see if this entertains you a little bit. We put together a montage of some of the craziest moments of the broadcast the other night.
Were you laying the pipe at 14, Ollie? Into my palm.
What do you got?
Looks like Cowboy is nutted. I just felt the slurping spoke for itself.
Call.
There's a shocker. Slurp them if you got them. Crime scene. I think those are those anal beads right on the front of the brim?
Insane.
First off,
who's the button right now? Sorry.
Far be it from me to try to get us on the rails.
What's the problem?
I don't think they are. Let's just leave it at that. I don't actually. I've never seen them. I don't know what they look like. Never used them.
No, it's not cash. Yeah.
Ooh.
Hold on. What was that?
I did clock that myself.
Where did that
not
come
certain, but it's been a long session.
Oh my God!
Perhaps a little purge.
A crop duster.
Close.
And I realized, by the way, the custodian's show name, they're the shipping container, but I think
1,500.
Maybe we found a new one. Not sure if.
Right,
you mean to tell me this whole time you've been
Batard will
referring
agree.
to them as
my guy Lido's
something that is not what they're called on the show?
That's correct.
There are like a number of ridiculous things that happened in that clip.
A dude farted. Yeah. We caught that.
Which was like the
loudly.
least offensive thing that we heard there.
That was a crass broadcast, and I'm here for it because that is one way to make poker on TV entertaining, Dave.
I guess a bunch of unkempt looking fellas. That was gross stuff. At least Nick Wright has the honor to not wear glasses and hats. If the whole thing is based around, and I'm skeptical of the idea when Matt Damon says in the movie that, it's the same guys at the World Series of Poker every year at the championship table. Or is it definitely? Because it seems not anymore fluky how you get there. Yeah. And if it's about, being able to mask what kind of cards you have to your fellow competitors, why are you allowed to wear glasses and hats and everything else to obscure what you look like? If the whole thing is predicated on I'm reading you and I can tell whether you're bluffing or not by looking you in the eyes, what are we doing?
No, the rules are
right. Well, then why don't you do that?
The main things to cover that people want to cover are their eyes, their mouth, and their neck.
It shouldn't be allowed
because your neck can actually pulsate when you're nervous. So you have to cover. You can only cover 2 of those 3. That is the rule.
Really?
You can't have your neck. You can't have your neck, your mouth, and your eyes covered. You can have my mouth and my neck covered, but that
How do you cover your mouth?
Wow.
Your mouth, like hand cover or like hoodies. I'm telling you, there are guys that pull hoodies closed, so they're that's why they made the rule, because there was this one guy who would just literally have a full hoodie on with sunglasses.
Oh, I've seen that. That's why he's doing that?
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that anymore. Now you have to have at least your neck or your eyes, one of the 3 have to be available to see.
Wow, I did not know that. All right. So, hey, you guys though yesterday, you got paid as a result of your pal Nick Wright, yeah?
Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to Nick Wright.
That's
who
my
did
hero.
An incredible job, won a ton of money. Hopefully he does this every single month and wins a lot of money every single month.
Yeah, my promise to Nick is that I will never get involved in any of the gambling that you're doing. I will stay away from poker. I will stay away from football bets so long as you continue to free roll us. So thank you so much for your service, Nick Wright.
Wow. All right.
I felt a little guilty. I think I'm going to stake him the next time. so I can actually feel better about these wins.
That's quite. You know what he buys in for?
I said a little bit.
Yeah, we all know.
Oh,
percentage.
A little
Steak
bit.
implies,
Not a full steak. What are you kidding? You get a
percentage.
But when you're watching this from home, are you aware of what they have? What cards anybody has?
Yeah,
Or
they
are you
show the
just
cards.
Looking at these slobs.
No, they show the cards.
Such slob.
It's on a half-hour delay, so you can't be obviously like texting people like, "Hey, I see his cards." Imagine that.
Okay. Like what you like. Watch what you want to watch.
So the NBA returned last night from the All-Star break, and there were some things that happened last night, and it has me ready to award. You know, it was somewhat of a big game last night at the Garden. Are we good to go now?
A huge game.
We're okay right now? Okay. I vamped a little bit for you.
Of the day.
Guys, well, enough of you. Guys, you know about that Madison Square Garden?
The Mecca.
The Mecca. So the Pistons last night won at the Knicks, 126-111. Real beatdown, all right? The Knicks have actually been pathetic against the Pistons this year. You remember last time they played, it was when James Dolan was on the radio, and he was talking about how the Knicks are a championship contender this year, and then the next night they lost by like 40 to the Pistons.
Took that ass.
Anyway, that's my gimmick. So the Pistons last night won at the Knicks, but Cade Cunningham, if we're going to talk about MVP, we need to have a conversation about Cade Cunningham. He had 42 points last night, 8 rebounds, 13 assists. That was at the Mecca. And Cade Cunningham and the Pistons improved to 41-13. All I'm saying is we better start including Cade Cunningham in that MVP conversation.
More importantly, though, perhaps, based on the when I turn on the TV or I surf the social media, a lot of people very concerned about who the face of the NBA is. Not the MVP, but who the face is. I keep hearing buzz, and it's been going for 3 years now, that if Ant Edwards keeps this up, he may soon be the face of the NBA. But look out for Wemby. He's making a push. He's going to be the face of the NBA. Who gives a crap? What comes with this? What with this honorific? What do you get for being the face of the NBA?
MVP of the day.
That was the second of the last 3 MVPs of the day going to Cade Cunningham. In between,
it's on a roll.
He had Sally Antoutage on behalf of Greg Cody.
Good vote. Oh,
yeah, that
I was to say good vote. There's us.
That was on behalf of.
All
Greg
right, so
Cody.
if with the NBA starting up against second half of the season, if there are people out there who maybe, what are the big NFL just ended, college football just ended, I got to stop paying attention to the NBA. I haven't really been locked in. Can we do maybe you got a top 5?
Yeah, I got a top 5 here. I got 3 OLIs. The first one I'm going to say really quickly so that we don't talk about it and no one says anything. Hey, the Heat are healthy. The second OLI, Cade Cunningham and the Pistons. Can they convince anyone that this regular season record is real?
Hey, I'm one of those people that Zaz was talking about. I just turned on the NBA after football season. And get this, everybody. The Detroit Pistons are in first place. How did that happen?
They're really good. They have an MVP candidate as their point guard, as their lead man. He shot 50%.
He was my
from
MVP
the
of
floor
the
last
day.
night. I know. Well, 2 years ago, I said the Pistons could be really good if Cade could take that next step. Again, not wrong, just early. And Cade has been great throughout this entire season. And an important note, they have, the Detroit Pistons do right now, the best record in the NBA. Yep. Which means home floor advantage.
Nobody calls it home floor advantage.
Home floor advantage.
Zaz is right.
Home floor advantage.
I have never heard those two words.
Home floor.
What's wrong with that?
Tony, you know about that home grass advantage?
I do. Home turf? You ever heard of that?
Home rink?
Exactly right. So with home court advantage, the Pistons will obviously be facing a Western Conference team, whether it be OKC, Denver, San Antonio, whatever. Like getting that at the Little Caesars Arena is going to be massive.
It also matters big time in the Eastern Conference playoffs, right? Because they're probably going to end up going against, at different points, potentially Cleveland, New York, Boston, New York and Boston having experience going.
They own New York. Detroit owns New York.
Absolutely. Look, this Detroit Pistons team is really, really good. I think the reason that there are people, I think they're legit. I think the reason that there are people who think they might not be a legitimate playoff team moving forward is because they don't know who the second guy is behind Cade. It's Jalen Duren, and he's fantastic.
Been in that other lineup, too.
But can he be a second guy on a team that goes to the NBA Finals? That's the question, and we'll see if over the next 25 games they could figure out whether or not they can convince people to do it. Here's another team that you're going to be surprised has been kind of good lately.
Are we still on OLI?
Yeah, there's another OLI. Tied for the most wins in the NBA this calendar year, Tony's Charlotte Hornets.
Con Knipple is the best rookie of the year.
He's amazing.
I don't care about Cooper Flag. Con Knipple's incredible.
Best rookie of the year?
He's the best rookie of
the year.
If he's the rookie of the year,
no, rookie of the year.
No, they're going to give it to Cooper Flag. They're going to give the rookie of the year. No, they're going to give
he's the best rookie of the calendar, like of the year, of the season.
You guys see,
rookie of the year is the award.
So Charlotte's fun right now. Did you guys see a couple of days ago LaMelo Ball? So LaMelo Ball, he played last night, and it was a story that he played last night because the day before he got into a car accident. All right, he got into a car accident.
What? Him?
Yeah, he got into a car accident where he just straight up on the road just crashes head on into another car.
I mean, that is a turn. Like, was he making the turn?
No,
it's
going straight.
He
was going straight.
Like it looks like, because there are a couple angles of this, and it's a pretty good guess that he was just on his phone. And like he veered into, like he swerved into the lane right next to him and hit a car head on. The wheel fell off. He drives a camo Hummer. All right. So apparently it's a thing in Charlotte where everyone around that area knows LaMelo's car. I mean, it's not hard to spot it. And yeah, good one, Chris. And
how did you make Hummer more sexually suggestive by combining words?
Camo Hummer
and vibrator.
And like Mike said, this is like a known thing in Charlotte where he drives like a maniac around the arena, coming into the arena, coming out the arena. He doesn't yield. He cuts cars off. He runs red lights.
He doesn't yield?
He runs red lights. And like he's gonna kill someone one day. You know, and then he got into an accident yesterday, which, you know, it kind of wrecked his car. It's yeah. And so here he was post game yesterday, and he was obviously asked about it.
LaMelo, how were you kind of made aware that the other person in the accident was also okay? I know she did suffer some injuries.
I seen her get straight out the car. Can you put into words the last 24 hours with you, how it's been emotional for you to have to deal with that and then come here and play a game tonight on top of that? I'm just alive and blessed, bro. So God is great, like I said.
LaMelo, you didn't.
Oh, that's some ass right there. He got up from for the listening audience, he got up from the press conference table, and his shorts were very low hanging.
Well, yeah, he's got no shirt on, and his shorts are really low,
note.
and so he's got his ass. This is the most unserious player in the league, right? It is. It's the most
that
unserious
reporter
player.
setting him up. That reporter sets him up like as the pitiable one in the conversation. Like, LaMelo's been going through it, everybody. And then he gets up with no shirt on and barely a pair of pants on.
Gotta use that drawstring.
Pants being on.
In sports, championships aren't won alone. They're won with the right people around you. That's exactly what Intuit TurboTax brings to taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, match with a dedicated tax expert who handles your taxes from start to finish. The experience is seamless. Start in person, finish online, move between both whenever needed. The dedicated tax expert keeps things updated every step of the way, so nothing falls between the cracks. Think of it like having a great head coach with a solid game plan. The plays are called, adjustments are made, and the work gets done while everyone stays focused on what actually matters. And just like game film doesn't wait for business hours, neither do taxes. With TurboTax Expert Full Service, you can get any tax question answered at no extra cost, even on nights and weekends during tax season. This is having someone in your corner running the whole operation and helping put points on the board. Get started at TurboTax.com. Only available with Intuit TurboTax Full Service experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. Now, if you've been following the show, you know I've been traveling, been super busy, been supporting my favorite football team with mixed results, right? Not the greatest hang so far in 2026.
I try to find every excuse in the book. I had one buddy that was trying to invite me out. I wanted to stay in. He's like, come on, let's watch this NBA game. So I go over to his house. I watched this NBA game, and guess what? Something amazing happened. He pulled out the Miller Lights, and I knew right away I made the right call. Next thing you know, we're toasting, we're celebrating, we're having a great time. We're talking about nostalgia. We're talking about old friends that we had. And it was all thanks to Miller Lite, that icebreaker. Because when you actually say yes, and you actually show up, you want a beer that fits the moment. For me, that's Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Folks, listen up. You know how some dogs have full government names? That's my dog, Samantha Bennett. 2 names. Sounds like she should be hosting a daytime talk show. But at home, she's just Benny, and she runs the place. If you're a pet parent like me, you already know about Chewy. And when they say they've got everything you need to help your pet stay happy and healthy, they are not messing around. Chewy has over 100,000 products from all the brands Benny loves. Food, treats, toys, beds, you name it, I order it, and it shows up 1 or 2 days later. And it's not just for dogs and cats, birds, fish, reptiles. If it has a heartbeat, Chewy's got something for it. To keep them healthy, Chewy offers prescriptions, pet insurance, telehealth visits, and they're even rolling out vet clinics across the country. Honestly, I use Chewy, and you should too. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, and right now, you can save $20 on your first order and get free shipping by going to chewpanions.chewy.com/LeBatard Show. That's chewpanions.chewy.com/LeBatard Show to save $20 off your first order with free shipping. chewpanions.chewy.com/LeBatard Show. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details.
Don LeBatard.
Our Panther group chat, we're confident against the Lightning. This is a different team.
Yeah. You're a Panther group chat, though.
No, I think no, but dude, you're so wrong on that. We've been terrified of this team forever, and I think there's a different energy where the Panthers, they want the Lightning.
Stugotz.
I want T-shirts made for this Panther run. What could be this Panther run? Our Panther group chat, we're not afraid of the Lightning.
That's a tagline for World War 3.
This is the Don LeBatard Show with the Stugotz.
Really quick on Con Knippel and the Charlotte Hornets. Can I get a stat of the day?
Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. This is start of the day.
According to Underdog, the highest true shooting percentage among rookies to average more than 18 points per game in NBA history. Con Knuppel is number 1 shooting.
Why'd you say his name different that time?
I don't know, because I don't know how to pronounce it. Con Knuppel or Con Knuppel? What do you know? Knuppel?
I say it the right way, Knuppel.
Knuppel. Shooting almost 65% true shooting percentage, 64.6. That's better than Zion Williamson, Bill Cartwright, Magic Johnson, Adrian Dantley, David Robinson, and Michael Jordan.
Oh, this kid is
I just saw LaMelo's Knipples.
I do love that we're doing the "Hey kid, pull up your pants" show. Number 5. Number 5. The 3 through 7 seeds in the Western Conference are separated by just 3 games. And we already know who the 10 teams are going to be going into the playoffs, like including the play-in, because there's a 7-game gap between 10 and 11, and all those teams.
Someone can get hot.
They're all trying to tank. Literally, if you look at all of those teams, each of them has removed 4 players from their roster for surgeries that I don't even think are necessary.
Did you know Al Horford's still in the NBA?
Yeah,
I just found that out.
Did we?
Did you know he doesn't play for the Celtics?
I heard about that. Did you also know that Giannis and his team is out of the playoff mix? What the hell's going on?
Number 4, can the Bucks hang around enough near the play-in to give Giannis a play-in shot? To your point, Dave, like the Bucks are presently, I believe, 7 games under 500, 23 and 30 the last I looked.
They're even in the loss column with the 9th and 10th seeds.
And that's the question is, ironically, Cam Thomas has been out of his mind since signing as a buyout contract. He's a really good scorer.
Dave, you know about that Cam Thomas?
Well, I'm learning about, Tua, I said, is too honest. He has the Wonder Woman lasso around her, but so too does Giannis. He is way too honest when he talks into a microphone about, I don't know. I wouldn't mind if they had traded me a year and a half ago. What are you talking about,
Dave,
man?
then he should have come out and said it. He should have come out and said it with his chest like Mike Ryan the other day. Go out and say you want to make a trade. If not, don't say your agent, I want to find a different home. No, bullshit. Go say, you want to trade? You don't want to trade.
I'm going to come out and put Dave as a no on knowing about Cam Thomas.
Yeah, that's definitely
doesn't know ball, non-ball no.
But that's really the question.
You saw how I moved on from that.
The Eastern Conference, while not wide open, we just talked about Detroit being good. There's a couple of other teams worth highlighting that we'll get to. But when you look at the play-in, anything could happen below that 4 seed, and Giannis being healthy, not having logged a lot of minutes this season, you never know. And him getting into the play-in would be
team is booty juice.
No, they're not good.
They're trash.
But when you have a player who is that good individually, it'll be a tougher first-round test for a 1 or 2 seed to have to go against Giannis than it would be a lot of these other teams that are in play-in scenarios. But number 3, what's going to go down with the Clippers?
Good point.
Because not just the reports that, I believe it was Sam Amick who threw it out there, that the hammer is coming on the aspiration.
Really?
Yeah. On the aspiration stuff, that people expect that to happen. But also, they might be kind of good otherwise.
Even though they traded all of their good players between Zubats, between James Harden, they don't really have anybody else.
Jordan Miller, full-timer now.
And
he is.
Kawhi Leonard has been playing at an MVP
He's been playing
level.
the best basketball of his career in the regular season this year.
Spectacular the last couple of months. And
don't get me started on Cam Thomas.
They started 6-21. And
they were terrible.
And now they are 27-28, I believe. That's how great they've been. And even in trading James Harden, last night, Benedict Mathurin goes off for 38 points.
He's good for one of those, though. He's always good for
every
a
once in a while. And we'll see what they are consistently.
Zaz, you know about that Benedict Mathurin?
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, but whatever. They are such a question mark because, yes, they're going to be one of those teams that gets to the play-in. Yes, they have Kawhi Leonard, so just like I was talking about with Giannis, that could be a tough test for somebody.
Killed in the first round.
But more importantly, what's going to happen with Kawhi? And that's really a question here is, does something happen during the regular season? Number 2.
Really quick, before that's big because at the beginning of the season, we didn't think anything was going to happen.
No.
We thought the NBA was just going to dust it under the rug and be like, all right, yeah, okay, whatever, no, nothing to see here. Guys, don't look behind the curtain. Now the trend is something is going to happen and it may be big, whether it's the front office, whether it's Kawhi himself. Could we see a situation, Zaz, where Kawhi gets suspended for a year because of this?
I don't trust this commissioner to do anything productive. So no.
Nothing?
No.
He's
a nothing.
I don't anticipate that they'll void his contract, has been thrown out there as one of the things, but I could see a world where
the PA would be very upset about that.
They issue a gigantic fine. They maybe ban Steve Ballmer from being around for a year, which would be, for a guy like that who loves to be present at everything, would be a pretty brutal punishment. But number 2, who's going to have the greater impact? James Harden in Cleveland or Jason Tatum returning in Boston? That's the question in the Eastern Conference. Because right now,
did you know the Celtics have hung around even without Tatum?
Yeah, they're good. It's crazy.
Davey, James Harden is on the Cavs.
I just found out about that. Thank you, Taché.
Yeah, it's really crazy because I know they're feeling really confident in Cleveland, and not that much has changed in terms of what their flaws would be. You're talking about a team that has struggled in the postseason historically, and you're adding a guy in James Harden who has also struggled in the postseason historically. But the confidence that he and Donovan Mitchell seem to have together, last night they're playing against Brooklyn. They barely had to play, and they were able to win that game by 40. But the impact that he's going to have there, is it enough to make Cleveland a legitimate contender after they seemed to be really treading water with the roster that they had? And then you look at Boston, who has stayed fully in this conversation, and we talked about it in the last couple of days. Is Tatum going to be a positive impact? Is it going to be a case of subtraction by addition because now you have different role players playing alongside him and Brown? I am fascinated to see which of those guys makes a greater impact down the stretch.
Impact versus kind of detriment, right? Because you're talking about Jason Tatum. You don't think he's going to come in and all of a sudden score 20 points a game. There's no way. Coming off an Achilles tear not even a year ago, I find that
some
hard
people
to
were
believe.
attacked for these opinions earlier, Jeremy. just merely highlighting that dropping a player of the talents and usage rate of Jason Tatum will just keep things going and improve them. I think if it does, then that's a testament to that team and Jason Tatum. And honestly makes me respect him more as a player that, I don't rate as highly as others.
I actually feel the same way, and about Jaylen Brown. The ability for him to look at an MVP season and say, no, Jason, welcome back. Be my running mate. And it's not just because we're the most talented team in the NBA that we win it, but now that everybody has fallen into line and fallen into their role.
Boys, I don't know. That locker room in Boston, there was a lot of things happening. I want to talk about Al Horford, former Boston legend.
What do you say?
Now with the Golden State Warriors. He had like a very dark and ominous press conference where he was like overhead lighting mic, the most Dominican he's ever looked.
You can't have that. Yeah, he looks super Dominican. If there was any question that Al Horford was Dominican, this one image in very clear fashion put all those to bed.
The decision has something, it's something that's deeper than just the basketball, stuff of it. And it's something that at some point I'll share, with people. But for me, it felt like it was the time for me to go elsewhere.
That's a north of 40 Dominican hairline if I've ever seen one.
So he's talking about Boston. He's talking about the locker room, the
obviously
culture.
Something negative.
Happened, obviously, but just the lighting around it, you knew it was negative. There's no way that that lighting could be positive. But as Jeremy talks about, inviting Jason Tatum back in, Jaylen Brown, the whole locker room, it's like there obviously is something more there that is not being said.
Nice.
Even going back to the Ime Udoka situation, like there's been kind of like things in the background with Boston, Joe Mazzulla, like all of these different things are a little bit odd. So I just find it hard to believe that the locker room is going to be so kumbaya that they're going to bring back Jason Tatum and be like, yeah, guys, like we're all a family, we're all love, let's go, power of friendship. Like that doesn't exist there.
I'm looking forward.
I disagree with that. I think it's the opposite effect. They're going to welcome back something that's already worked for them and obviously yielded a championship. The James Harden, any faith in what he's capable of doing, these playoffs. Taché, were you also one of those people that like, this is the year that the Jags get over the hump in the playoffs. This is the year the Toronto Maple Leafs make a Stanley Cup run. James Harden is what he is. He is a flop in the postseason. I see no reason why that won't continue just because he's in Cleveland.
There's a real chance that that's the case. He actually has played better than what his postseason reputation is over the last probably 4 or 5 years of making the postseason. The problem has been he has still been dreadful in elimination games. So unless Cleveland is able to just run through the conference and not be in a spot where they're facing elimination, it's likely that we end up back in the same scenario. The only hope would be that then Donovan Mitchell, who has also had his own struggles since that most beautiful basketball game ever played.
No one has like the impression that Donovan Mitchell's a choker.
No, but that's also because in a series that he lost to Jamal Murray, he had one of the greatest games that we've ever seen.
Basketball in its purest form.
And then number one, speaking of basketball in its purest form, Wemby and the Spurs going with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So here's where we're at. Here's where we're at.
That, Chris.
Remember when we thought?
Hit it out.
Go ahead and hit it.
Right.
Remember when the Thunder were going to win like 80
games? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so they have a 2.5 game
Your timing
lead.
was much better there, Chris.
They have a 2.5 game lead over the Spurs. That's it. 2.5 games for that one seed in the Western Conference.
I am into the OKC San Antonio thing because OKC, the story going into this season was like, well, it's their league now. And they're so set to run this league with all the lottery picks. They've built this franchise perfectly. And now it's made a guy who seems unfair. Wembanyama seems unfair. When he entered the league, I'm like, they need to do something about the rules to stop this guy. A guy with that height, that skill level, somehow is positioned as the underdog here. And I think that's a fascinating, especially when you consider, because I'm a big believer in sports being at its best when it's regional. That being a regional rivalry, that can actually carry this league in the meantime, because OKC is not the most thrilling of storylines.
Just try and do a little bit better when paying attention, okay, Chris?
So when you look at Wemby, Mike, and I agree, like obviously he is this like once in a generation talent, but the Spurs are so good because of what they have outside of Wemby. Yeah. Castle, Fox, Harper, like they're bigs.
I know some of those names.
Revelation for them.
You know what? You mentioned De'Aaron Fox. I'm adding him to the list of people that the Miami Heat should have went after and failed.
De'Aaron Fox is on the Spurs?
No longer a king, Davey.
Wow.
But can he
Did you know the Pacers, who were in the finals last year, are now in last place?
That's because, did you know Halliburton's hurt?
Yeah, I heard about that. I do remember that.
They did trade for Ivica Stugotz, though. Big get for them.
Yeah, I wrote down, learn about Jalen Duren.
That guy's good.
Yeah,
oh, you're gonna love him.
I'll learn him.
But with the thing with the Thunder and the Spurs, like the fascinating part in this isn't just that there's a 2.5 game lead that theoretically the Spurs can overcome and have Wemby really surge into an MVP conversation that he, despite being arguably the best player in the NBA, hasn't really been in because he's only played 40 games thus far. If he's healthy and leads San Antonio and can reach the proper game mark and leads San Antonio to overcoming Oklahoma City for home court advantage, that would be a fascinating story, in particular because San Antonio's kind of owned Oklahoma City.
They kind of 4 out of 5.
3 of the 14 losses that Oklahoma City has this season are at the hands of Wemby and the Spurs. They're I think they've
won 4 out of 5. I think
they've won 4 of the last 5, but I think they only play 4 times in the regular season. So
no, but they also played in the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, the NBA Cup, right? Okay. So, but either way, they've won 4 out of 5 here.
Yeah.
Yes, Dave.
And Mike is 100% right. The things that make sports sing are rivalries, one, and a regional rivalry at that is juicy, while OKC chases a potential dynasty. That's number 2, and number 3 is who's the face of the league. And we'll settle that hash, too. It was going to be SGA, but then Wemby caught him and passed him up, and Ann Edwards and all the rest of it. But yeah, absolutely right. What that could do, plus Denver is kind of in that region, too. That's going to be a three-horse race for the West.
Denver has probably the best player on the planet, right? And everybody's kind of forgotten that because Jokic has been hurt and missed 16 games or whatever. You haven't forgotten?
You'll speak for me.
Was he an MVP of the day this season?
He has.
He has been a couple times. Right. Julian G also said that Jokic was going to be the MVP. He reported that back in, I think, November.
Oh.
So it was an early thing there. Right now, I think the Bontemps straw poll that is talked about in NBA circles has SGA right now kind of far and away the MVP, which is interesting because they're, yes, obviously the best team when everybody's healthy. They haven't been healthy. He himself hasn't been healthy. So, like, OKC has a very interesting proposition in front of them for the next 41 games. Like, they've got to make sure that they do not let the Spurs get past them, but also get healthy enough to have a very long playoff run in the West, which is going to be a absolute brutality.
And that's the weird part about the seeding I was talking about earlier, 3 through 7, because, sure, right now, Denver is the 3 seed, which would be the coolest thing because it could set up for a Wemby versus Jokic in the second round, which is exactly what the NBA needs. Winner going to play Oklahoma City. But the amazing part about this rivalry,
he's coming to take Jokic's stuff.
Oh yes, Oklahoma City and San Antonio. Like Oklahoma City has these guys locked up for the long term, in Shea and Jalen Williams and Chet. Wemby, Bobby Marks was saying earlier, is going to sign that 5-year extension with San Antonio. So this isn't just about a rivalry that could start the season.
It's a decade-long rivalry.
This could be one of those true regional decade-long rivalries between 2 teams that are right near each other, and it could start this season. So we'll see what happens through the rest of the NBA season in terms of those standings, but that's my number one storyline that I'm watching is out west with those 2.
That's a fun storyline.
DraftKings Sportsbook puts you right in the middle of basketball's biggest star-driven moments. Bet player props, bet live, and when a game turns fast, DraftKings has your back with early exit. If your player gets injured anytime in the first half, your bet stays alive. And once it settles, you'll still get paid in cash. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DAN. New customers bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's code DAN. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
You saw the game-winning play once, but have to replay it 3 times on the way back to the hotel. Because some moments don't end at the buzzer. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at Best Western. Book direct and save at bestwestern.com.
President's Day savings are happening now at the Home Depot with up to 40% off select appliances. Looking to upgrade your fridge? Check out LG's newest model, serving up ice in all kinds of styles. Cube, crushed, craft ice, and now new mini craft ice straight from the dispenser. From cold brew to fizzy favorites, these refrigerators will have you entertaining like a pro. Shop President's Day savings and get up to 40% off, plus free delivery on select appliances like LG at the Home Depot. Free delivery on appliance purchases of $1,498 or more. Offer valid February 5th through the 25th, U.S. only. See store or online for details.
Dan Le Batard.
There is no question, Dan Le Batard show included, anybody else, that this guy is the best player on the planet. Whether he wins the Stanley Cup or the Conn Smythe this year, there is no question about it.
Stugotz.
Overrated? Wait, did someone say overrated?
Overrated.
What's going on?
Dan Le Batard, how you doing?
Are we living in an altered world or what?
Oh, my goodness.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Not enough space. All right, guys, I'm going to take the conversation on a little bit of a political turn now. Yeah. Mike, what do you think of Josh Pate?
I love Josh
He's
Pate.
excellent, right?
I'm a big fan of his. I like his show. And Josh Pate historically, Zaz, has had a very clear rule about his show. His show is legitimately an escape from politics. It's as apolitical a show as you can have. Now, Josh Pate, I think the world of him, star is ascending. He has recently announced on his social media platform, he taped an interview with sitting president Donald Trump. Donald Trump will be on Josh Pate's show this Sunday. Now, Josh Pate put out a statement saying that when the sitting president is offered to you, you take it 100% of the time. And this is going to be an NIL discussion. It's under the guise of Donald Trump joining Josh Pate's show just to talk NIL. And he goes on to add that anybody expecting a political discussion will be severely disappointed.
Okay, so is he saying that because it's already been taped and maybe they edited stuff out?
It has been taped, and here's where it's impossible to have an apolitical, nonpartisan discussion with this sitting president because he always takes it there. In fact, the one video that I've seen of Donald Trump meeting Josh Pate, getting ready to tape this interview is, you think Biden knows anything about NIL? He wouldn't be doing something like this. Already takes it to a partisan place. Look, this president is very slippery when it comes to these interviews. He is going to shoehorn partisanship and lies, and he's going to cut you off when you try to hold him accountable at every end. Now, I don't think Josh Pate wants to have a political discussion. I believe when he aspires to being this apolitical show and wants to keep the discussion there. The interview subject never stays on one subject and always tries to gets his shot up. And this is a real issue for sports in general. Pat McAfee had the president on, and he defended himself. It's Veterans Day. You take the president. When you have shows like this, never mind a show that has always aspired to an apolitical nature, you are further normalizing something that is not normal. Today, the Supreme Court shot down Donald Trump's tariffs, saying they were illegal. In any other political career, your biggest policy being struck down as illegal would be a huge deal. But to us in this country, it is just merely a Friday morning news dump because that's the nature of politics in this country right now. When you give Donald Trump a platform, he is going to seize the opportunity to espouse lies, election denial, and do whatever he can. And most of these shows are not equipped to hold him accountable. He will trample you. He does this with some of the best interviewers in the nation that are political reporters. So I was disappointed to see this. I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but I guarantee you within 7 seconds, Donald Trump is going to take that to a place that is going to be Donald Trumpy. It's going to push partisanship, and it is going to really make me disappointed because I also went to Josh Pate for an escape. This is a very regional sport in college football. I have to sit down at Hard Rock Stadium surrounded by hats that have the U logo in the middle of a TR and an MP. I cannot escape this person in this sport. There are political opinions flying left and right, and for a guy who is famous for trying to make sure you don't have to worry about that with your college football, this is a huge bummer, and I don't like that we continue to normalize what we're seeing out there.
So, Tony, I heard you're not trying not to pay your taxes this year, huh?
Yeah, you know what? I don't like the way the government's been acting. This is the one year I'm considering. You know what? I don't think that I'm going to pay taxes this year. And again, IRS, I'm probably going to pay them, so you don't have to look into what's going on.
Probably.
But the point being, we're going to be insolvent in Social Security in like 7 to 10 years. So I'm paying into a situation that I'm not going to see. A. B, there's a lot of money going a lot of places that I don't really approve of. C, I don't really want to pay the taxes. So I'm considering not doing it, Zaz.
Welcome
Davey, what
to
do you
the
think?
resistance.
So, quick reminder, Roy, for the gold medal game, hockey show live stream this Sunday, 8 a.m. Eastern time. We are hoping it's USA, Canada. I mean, we're hoping it's USA. We're hoping it's USA, Canada. But did I leave anything out there, Roy? 8 a.m. Eastern time live stream hockey show.
Yes, sir. And right now, Canada is not off to a good start. They gave up a goal off the face-off to Mikko Rantanen, high glove side.
All right. By the
Jordan
time people
Binnington.
hear this, though, that is in the past. All right.
Yes.
That's how this works.
Fine.
All right.
But I do think Roy is right to, at least open up the possibility that this is not USA Canada, because Finland is a really good side and they're showing it right now.
All right, everybody calm down.
What is the finished thing that they do all the time? Suomo. Swomo.
I'm sure that's finished for
It's a celebratory thing. Well, I know, but that's what I'm at. I assume it's finished for something. I was wondering what specifically.
This is the part of the show where you ask us about customs from other countries that we have no idea about.
I think we're finished.
Hey!
Oh, terrific. Also, good news
I don't
for
see
you,
anybody
Tony.
looking it up.
Apparently, we're all finished having to pay taxes because, from what I understand, AI is going to make us all impossibly wealthy. None of us are going to have to work. I don't know exactly how the AI is going to pay the mortgage and all of that, but I've been assured that all those concerns will all work out in our favor. Mike, picking up on what you were just talking about with Josh Pate, I consider it a little weird that he said when he's offered to you, when the president of the United States is offered to you, it feels weighted to me a little bit like getting an offer you can't refuse. If you say no, if Donald Trump were to contact you and say, I want to use you as the vessel to deliver a message on whatever, NIL in this case, if you say no, that comes with some baggage too. Now you violated what he wanted to do, and so you're probably in some trouble. But I'm skeptical about this because at the same place is Pat McAfee. Wouldn't that be Trump's go-to? He reached out, his people reached out to Josh Pate, of all the people on the big blue marble to talk about NIL with.
I don't doubt it.
I feel like Josh Pate probably reached out to him.
Yeah, I would.
Well, but why would he reach out to Pate?
Because Donald Trump and his team are really good at identifying these properties that have...
And it's like the fastest rising college football show.
That have a particular base that he wants to reach. And I don't think this is a coincidence just days after hitting the links with Urban Meyer, who apparently does not know what the word bipartisan means, and Nick Saban look, Donald Trump has been desperate to inject himself into college football. We have seen this for months on end, and it hasn't exactly gone his way. Anytime any form of legislation goes to Congress, it dies. And, the haves in this sport want it to go back to the old ways. That's what Nick Saban and Urban Meyer are trying to protect, where the power dynamic is different, where the players, the student athletes, do not have the same level of power right now. Trust me when I tell you this. Nick Saban, Urban Meyer, Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, they're not looking to fully empower the student athletes the way that they are right now, to the tune of them winning every single court case. They're looking to strip away some of their rights and tilt the odds back in the favor of the establishment. And I hope that Josh Pate checks him on that, because I do think that there is validity to that. And I do think it's interesting, even if you were offered the opportunity to speak to this president. Where I stop short is, this is not a normal president. And he is always going to take the conversation in a partisan direction. He is always going to inject lies into the conversation. Are you equipped to check him on that? Are you at least equipped to deflect and move the conversation on and hone in on the issues at hand, which is your focus, college football? I'm skeptical because I've never seen anybody be able to do it. And for a guy who has prided himself on being apolitical, this was disappointing to me.
Completely agree with you, Mike, but consider what I said, though. If Donald Trump reaches out to you and you say no to him, then that feels like a fraught position to take. What if Donald Trump, you're a legitimate college football voice. What if Donald Trump reached out to you and said, I would like to sit down with you one-on-one and talk about the state of college football? Would you say no to that?
No, because I know that I would go at him in a way. Well, first off, he'd never be offered to me because I wouldn't play ball like
I get it, but
yeah, no, I would love.
But
I would love
I'm
the
just saying
opportunity.
that the grace I would give, the grace I give Josh Pate here is, how can you really say no? It's easy to say, come on, stiff arm him, but you're kind of putting yourself in a tough spot professionally if you do that.
I kind of think he actually,
given what he's done to Kimmel and everybody else.
No, I think I never aspired to be apolitical, and I never pride myself on it the way that Josh Pate has. I actually think he earns a lot. I don't know if it ever comes out if he turns down the opportunity, because that's not necessarily something that Trump's administration would tout. Hey, this guy said no. That's an embarrassing look for him. I actually think Josh Pate gains a lot by saying, I was offered the opportunity to speak to the president, and I declined because this show is always and will forever be an escape from politics, which is something that he's pounded the table for.
Except that Terry Moran lost his job, and Stephen Colbert is dealing with those issues, and Kimmel's dealing with his, and so on and so forth. There are a number of examples of, if you go against what this administration wants, it puts you in a tough spot professionally and beyond.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Ryan. Now, if you've been following the show, you know I've been traveling, been super busy, been supporting my favorite football team with mixed results, right? Not the greatest hang so far in 2026. I try to find every excuse in the book. I had one buddy that was trying to invite me out. I wanted to stay in. He's like, come on, let's watch this NBA game. So I go over to his house. I watch this NBA game, and guess what? Something amazing happened. He pulled out the Miller Lights, and I knew right away I made the right call. Next thing you know, we're toasting, we're celebrating, we're having a great time. We're talking about nostalgia. We're talking about old friends that we had, and it was all thanks to Miller Lite. That icebreaker, because when you actually say yes and you actually show up, you want a beer that fits the moment. For me, that's Miller Lite. Legendary moments start with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.